and we're back. Happy Sunday. Today we are picking up on October 6th, 2017. We are at Chairback Gap Lean-To after we had just made our ascent of Chairback Mountain, which again is a lot more strenuous than you would think just looking at the trail guide. So I'm here to warn you of the mountain. But anyways, on this day, so on the trail, there are very boggy areas, especially in Maine because of how much water there is. So in these boggy areas, trail maintenance workers have gone in and put like 2x4s across, and they're nailed or tied together to make a little bridge. It's called a Bog Bridge, and it's about this wide, and they can be like 10 to like 50 feet long, and it's just like sections of them mixed together, which you'll see photos of. But you should be walking on these bog bridges, because if you misstep off, you may sink down to like your hips deep in a bog. So they are bog bridges for a reason. Stay on the bridge. And I was constantly telling Riley, stay on the bridge, like don't get off the bridge. And Riley started getting really confident on this day. She decided that she was walking in front of me. She decided that she just wanted to go off the bridge and like just explore. So she takes a step off the bog bridge, goes face first into a bog, and just her butt and the top of her pack are sticking out. And she can't get out. And of course, my immediate response is to just sit there and laugh at her because I just told her not to step off the bog bridge. But then reach down, grab her by the harness and pull her out, and she is just covered in the top half of her in just nasty, disgusting smelling bog goo. So she has to walk like that the rest of the day until we find some sort of body of water. But these like small little moments of funny moments were just like exciting little pieces of our day until it's really nasty like that. But anyways, if you're hiking and you see a bridge, like a little 2x4 section, make sure you stay on it. Don't get off. Just stay on the bog bridge. Tell your dogs to stay on the bog bridge. Now on this day, this was our last full day on the 100-mile wilderness, because the following day we would be exiting that, which meant we were very close to the New Hampshire border. So this day, nothing other than the bog was very exciting for this day, except that the leaves did start to change. And actually, there's a beautiful photo I'm going to put up at the end of this of us looking at the leaves changing across a body of water. And the leaves in New England are just, you can't compare any other place to them. It's just breathtaking. And us being in the woods, being surrounded by it all, it couldn't get any better than that. So at the end of this day, October 6, 2017, we did hit mile 111.5. We had hiked 23 miles that day. So we are finally in the 100 miles, big point for us. So 3 digits in. We're getting there. On the day of October 7th, 2017, what does this say? Oh, Riley started to learn that as people were approaching that she was going to get a lot of pets. So Riley started like getting really excited whenever she would see other hikers on the trail. She'd like kind of like look up at me like, "Mom, is it okay?" And I'd be like, "Yeah, fine, go ahead." And she'd just like run up to the other hikers and go say hi and get lots of pets, because I mean, Mom can only provide so many pets on the trail. And since there are no other southbound hikers, she's not meeting a lot of people. So anytime she would see a northbound hiker, she would just get so excited and just run up and get all the pets, because those hikers were super excited to see a dog. They haven't seen their dogs in forever. You probably haven't seen any dogs on the trail, of maybe a couple. So it was very welcomed and from both parties for her to see other hikers. And again, as we got further and further south, the less and less people she saw. So every day she was seeing less and less people. So she was just loving all of the love on the trail. And then this day was the first day we hiked a bald mountain, which was called Moxie Bald Mountain. On these bald mountains, it just means that there are no trees. There's really no foliage up there. There may be some shrubs and stuff, but it's really just like a rocky mountain. When that happens, how do you know where you're going, you may ask? So you know based on cairns, and I believe I'm pronouncing that correctly. Cairns, cairns. Regardless what they're called, we get to tattoo number 2. This is another picture I took. These are cairns. They are stacks of rocks, and they're here as well. This is a better example, but there's stacks of rocks, and this is another picture I took as well. They are stacks of rocks that have been placed on top of each other, kind of like in a pyramid, but they're periodically placed on tops of those bald mountains, so you know where you're going. Those are your trail markers instead of the actual 2x6 blaze, 2x6 blaze, the white blaze. All long distance trails have a blaze that you follow. A blaze is a strip of paint, usually on a tree, but they're 2 inches by 6 inches, 2 inches across, 6 inches down, and the Appalachian Trail's color is white. So I have the white Appalachian Trail blaze on a tree. So those were all the markers I was following, except on the Bald Mountains, where there's no trees to blaze, so you have the cairns to follow. Now, tangent, any side trails, like trails to get to a shelter that's not right on the Appalachian Trail, it's like on a side trail, those are called blue blazes. And as so appropriately named, they are blazed with blue paint. So usually if you say like, oh, I blue blazed my way that way, that means you took a side trail. And I'm going to give you some trail knowledge. If you see one white blaze, it means just keep going straight. If you see 2 white blazes, and let's say it's like this, so that means you're going to be taking this turn. So for me, it's my right-hand turn. For you, it's your left-hand turn, I believe. So the bottom one is the direction that you are coming. The top one is the direction that you are going to be turning. That means the trail's making a turn. If it was over here, you'd be making this type of turn. So again, the top turn, the top blaze, wherever it's stationed in relationship to the bottom blaze, is the direction that you're going to be going. Sometimes they're on top because it's multiple trails going different ways and you want to stay straight. So that is your trail directioning, I guess. Pretty simple. White blazes are the Appalachian Trail. Blue blazes are your side trails leading off. Just some information for you. And cairns are your markers on bald face mountains. So at this point, I'm really starting to feel the pain in my body. My knees are getting very, very swollen to the point that I can barely sleep at night. And my heels are torn to shreds because you start sweating a lot, especially right now with how many miles we're doing. It's not cold yet. It's probably like 70-some degrees, so I'm sweating a lot. And my feet are in socks and boots all day, so all that moisture is kind of just sitting in the boots. But yeah. And then, let's see here. On that day, October 7th, 2017, we made it to mile 136.5, 25-mile hike. And on October 8th, 2017 is the day that we finally made it to town. We got to Caratunk, Maine. At this point, we came off the trail. I had to hike 2 miles on the highway to get to, I don't remember the name of it. Like a little lodge, a little place you can stay. Not a hotel, but let me see. But we hiked there in order to get a ride to Northern Outfitters, which is where we were staying, because I did not have cell service, so I could not call Northern Outfitters to come pick us up, so I hiked to the nearest, I'm just consulting my handy-dandy book. We were staying at Where is it? Right here. We're staying in Northern Outfitters, which is somewhere on this page. Northern Outdoors, sorry. We were staying in Northern Outdoors, but we stopped at the Sterling Inn. The Sterling Inn is closer to the trail, so again, I hiked to the Sterling Inn from the trail, which is about 2 miles on the highway, and like a 2-lane highway, guys, not like an interstate. And then from there, there were some other hikers getting dropped back off at the trail. So the guy that owns the Sterling Inn, which has a resupply as well, we were able to get some food while we were waiting, talk to some of the northbound hikers that pretty sure we're not going to make the cutoff for the day to hike at Totem, but that's not my problem. They were getting dropped off on the trail, and then the owner of the Sterling Inn was going to drop us off at Northern Outdoors because that's where we had a reservation. That's where we're going to stay. So he drops us off at Northern Outdoors. I finally get to take a shower. I also took all of my clothes, I wringed them out in the sink, which all my clothes turned the water black like 5 or 6 times after washing them. They finally got clean enough to the point that I hung them up and let them air dry. I had some spare clothes, like my sleeping clothes, that I was able to walk around in because they weren't anywhere near as dirty because I was just sleeping in them. I got my resupply box, which it took me like 2 hours to go through and Tetris everything into my pack together. And Brandy was, I don't know if she owns it or just works there, but Brandy was the one I was talking with to organize my ride the following day to get back to the trail. So she was going to take me the next morning to get back to the trail. At this point at Northern Outdoors, Riley is sleeping in my room. We have a private room. She's sleeping, eating, doing whatever she wants to do, just resting pretty much. And I go and I eat all the food. They have a big lodge with a big fireplace, and so I just like camped out there, had my phone with me, I was journaling, doing some blog stuff for the trek, and FaceTiming my family. I was FaceTiming my boyfriend, Will, my mom, because her birthday was the next morning, and I was kind of like going through all my notes and figuring out the next stage of everything. So Northern Outdoors was a great option for us. I would make the change. I would actually stay at the Sterling Inn. The owner there was super nice. I just really liked how kind they were. If I were to do something different, that's probably something that I would change. So if you're hiking, stay at the Sterling Inn, not Northern Outdoors. It is easier to get to and from the trail. They will also pick you up from the trail. You just have to get a hold of them, which again is kind of difficult. But we stayed in bed. I ate so much food. The food was very good at Northern Outdoors. I will give them that. I got my resupply box, and that's about it. So the next morning, it's my mom's birthday. Brandy is going to take us from the trail, from Northern Outdoors to the trail, and we're going to ferry our way across the Kennebec River because remember, Caratunk, Maine is where the Kennebec River is, and you have to get the ferry across. So that's what we're going to pick up next time. Right now we're at mile 151.2, and we had hiked 14.7 miles that day. So yeah, not too shabby. We're getting there. We'll be at Springer Mountain before you know it. Bye.